Dr. Allana Polo is a certified naturopathic physician and wellness advocate whose work in developing signature weight loss programs has transformed the lives of thousands of patients. Dr. Polo is also a best-selling author of her book titled The Hunger Code. Earlier this week, I chatted with Dr. Polo about her book, where she defines hunger into 6 categories. And believe it or not, only one is considered a good form of hunger, or she calls it a healthy hunger.
So these are the terms that I coined, right? So this is what I call, these hungers in quotation. So healthy hunger is exactly that. When we are hungry, we should eat. But hunger is that physical sensation. So, the stomach growling, low energy, hangry, feeling moody or irritable. Those are all drivers to eat. But not many of us are so in tune with that because we're busy, we're distracted, we're eating on the go, we're eating out of habit, we're so disconnected from our bodies in the sense of life is so busy and rushed that it's really hard for us to sit down and be like, okay, is my stomach growling? Is my energy low? Should I eat? Am I thirsty? Am I tired? Am I bored? Right? To ask yourself those questions before you just grab something might really make a difference in terms of not only how much you eat, but also how you digest your food.
Yeah, I think you've gotten into all the forms right there of the bad hungers. You've touched on little bits and pieces of them there. So let's start into them. Head hunger is something you've coined here, and this is, I think a lot of people do this. It's eating by the clock, right?
You're bang on. So head hunger is the scheduled eater, it's the clock watcher, and it's also the fearful gobbler. So, the clock watcher is, you're right, it's dinner time, it's breakfast time, it's recess time as a teacher. I should eat because the clock says I should. It's also people who are scared to get hungry. It's like my son has a soccer game, I won't be able to eat until later, so I should eat something now so I don't get hungry at the field, right? As opposed to just going to the field and coming home and eating when you're actually hungry. So head hunger is very much about rules, guidelines, and scheduled time-based eating.
Now, your next one is heart hunger. And this, initially, I was like, oh, is this a health thing? But more so emotion when it comes to this.
That's right. It's stress eating. It's stress eating. It's emotional eating, and not necessarily in a bad way. Of course, food can be used to soothe, but we also celebrate with food, right? We
Right.
emotionally, like birthdays and celebrations and anniversaries and work functions, like it's all surrounded by food. And so, if we understand why we're eating, if we're eating because we're coping, if we're eating ice cream because we broke up with our partner, or if we're just eating out of joy and celebration, it's, definitely a reason why we're consuming calories that have nothing to do with actual healthy hunger.
So I totally get that one, and I definitely get the next one. And this is the habit hunger, because you're on the couch and you feel as though you need to pick at something for no real reason, right?
You're right. We all do. Habit hunger is the most common hunger. Like, of course, they're all common. I think a lot of us
Yes.
see ourselves in all of them, but habit hunger is the most common for sure. We sit in front of the TV, we snack, it's after dinner, we're not really hungry, but we just, need that oral fixation, hand to mouth, as opposed to just getting busy doing something else.
Now, your final 2 types I find a little bit more complex, and one of them is hormone hunger. And so where does this come into play?
It's a great question. So the first 3, you're right. They're very mental emotional. They're
Right.
very much, the mental emotional reasons we struggle with our weight. And then the last 2 are more biological, physiological. So we get into the science behind, hormones, for instance, perimenopause or menopause, andropause for men, cortisol, which is our stress hormone, insulin, thyroid. These are all hormones that really drive whether or not we gain weight, especially as we age, where the weight is situated around the midsection when you've never had a belly before. These are all hormonal drivers behind why we eat or why we can't lose weight.
And then the hypersensitivity hunger, that is your final one. This is, I don't even know what this one is. So explain this one to me. I can't even lead you down a road here. I'm not sure.
It's gut health. So
Okay.
the gut microbiome, which is also a really hot topic. I feel like we're, in the spotlight right now. We have hormone health and gut health. So hypersensitivity is like food sensitivities or food allergies or inflammation or leaky gut or SIBO. These are all buzzwords in the world of gut health. And so someone with IBS, for instance, might really struggle with their weight because the gut is just not digesting the food as it should,
Mm.
which leads to fat storage as opposed to utilizing that food for energy or fuel.
Okay, so now that you've identified all of these types, Is this all about weight control? Are there other uses for knowing types of hunger?
There's other uses, absolutely. You know, a lot of people, again, with gut, they struggle with IBS and they don't know why they're bloated and gassy and have heartburn all the time.
Mhm.
Meanwhile, they're eating on the go, and we're not meant to eat on the go. We're meant to sit and eat, but none of us are doing that. We're busy, right? So it's like this fast food nation. We're running on the go. We're not sitting and eating. It manifests for a lot of people as digestive problems, skin conditions like acne or eczema or psoriasis, low energy. Um, Beyond weight, absolutely. Joint pain, inflammation. There's so much that goes into how we're feeding our body.